I want to put a drop shadow on this big blob. So I'm going to lock these. And I am going to draw a nice oval. And the default was a red line because that's what I was using earlier, which is fine because it's easy for me to show you what I'm doing here. And I'm going to want two of these, these circles. So I'm going to Command or Control C, and Command or Control V is paste, but I want to paste in front. So there are two on top of each other, and I can hold my Option key when I reduce this. So now what I want to do is make it look like this juicy eyeball is sitting down on something solid underneath it. So what I want it to do is to have a dark shadow blend into the background color. So I drew these two ovals here. The strokes are red just because they're easier to see that way. So I'm going to get rid of the stroke here, down there, click, and I'm going to go up here to my Swatches palette and select this dark brown. I'm going to do the same here by getting rid of that stroke. But instead of filling this with a color from the swatches, I'm just going to grab my eyedropper and click, and I have filled, if you look down here in the fill, that circle oval with the background color. And to prove it, I'll turn the background off, and that's what you're going to see right there. You see that? So then what I'm going to do is select them both. I marquee them both. Object, blend. What are blend options? Smooth color. All right, let me see what happens there. Object, blend, make. You see what happened? Now it looks weird, but wait until I turn on the background color, and there you go. So it blended two ovals, a dark brown, into the background color. And so when you see them set on top of the background color, it looks like a smooth transition. File on that. And you know, this could get much more complex and sophisticated than this, but we're just kind of having fun right here. So I'm going to leave it like that. And there we go. All right. So next are the flames, because his eyeball is in hell. I'm going to grab an ellipse tool, keep it simple. I have a layer here, if you see, that I've set just for the flames. I have everything underneath it locked. It's just much easier to work when you name your layers and lock the layers that you're not using. Actually, I'm just going to do an outline right here so I can see what's going on. So I got this kind of eyeball here. There we go. It's this oval I'm putting. So there it is. Kind of gives me a sense of where I'm at, where it's matched up to the eye. I'm going to select it, and now I'm going to inverse it or fill the interior with red and the no stroke on the outside. So there's where we are at. And then this is where a little bit of artistic interpretation comes in. So, you know, you could put yours anyway. I'm going to move mine over here, and you'll see. Just watch what happens here. This is where you get to have more fun and interpret what a flame looks and feels like. So I'm going to go with that. Then I'm going to come down here to my mesh tool, and I'm going to click here. I'm kind of guessing where, but I think more action will be happening in the middle, to be honest with you. And maybe one right up here. Okay. Now there's several ways you can do what I'm about to do. I'm going to use the opacity function. Some people use blends, and I'll explain what that's all about. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to make all the outside edges of this flame transparent. So what you just saw me do was grab the lasso tool and highlight the outside edge of this, and that means I've grabbed these anchors and these points, and if you go up here to the left and you see, and I'll turn down the opacity to 0, and you see what's happening there. I'm going to do the same here on this end. So I would encourage you to play with it. There we go. You know, and it doesn't have to be 100%. Let's see. I selected those. What the opacity? I'm going to make it down to like that. And where are we at here? I'm going to press down on my command key. I'm on a Mac, so command key. And it allows me to switch back and forth between tools. I'm going to get those and make those. There we go. All right, so that's what I have so far. Now, I'm going to get my direct select, click on it, and I'm going to add some colors. I'm going to click on these points here. I'm holding my shift key so I can grab more than one at a time. And I'm going to just come up here to my swatches and grab a bright yellow. There you go. Another same bright yellow. I'm going to keep it simple. Now down here, I'm going to try a blue. I have no idea what's going to happen, but that's part of the fun, not knowing what's going to happen. All right, so there's a blue, and you can always change these or get rid of them. So I got that. It's almost starting to look like a flame. Click on it, and then I will just grab this and start moving these around. And they start getting super groovy, man. Oh, look at that. So you can start slowly building a flame. Now, when you use this gradient tool and you grab one of these points and you start moving it, sometimes you get these weird edges that you're seeing that's going on here. So I would say be aware of that. Sometimes they can work in your favor, like that looks kind of neat right there. Sometimes they can work against you, so I'm just saying be aware of that. You just have to kind of work with the tool. All right. There's a flame. So, of course, you can use this flame for anything you want to, not just this horrible eyeball that I'm doing. I'm going to Command or Control Z that. I don't like it. All right. And then the final thing is I'm going to select that flame, and I'm going to play with a blending mode on it. Up to Window, down to Transparency, and apparently it's already out on my out here on the top on the canvas or on the main stage. I don't know what the fuck they call it. Anyways, it's already up. I can tell because there's a check mark next to that. And now that I look, it's right here. Okay, blending modes are right here. Overlay. There you go. His eyes burning. Right? Now you can play with other blending modes, but they just don't seem to do the right thing. And blending modes really affect the colors above and below. So I would recommend, what did I have earlier? What was it? Overlay. Once you use that gradient mesh, you can get rid of them if you want. So as I roll over here, you can see there's a little plus sign. So if I click, it adds one. But if I roll over it and hold my Option key, when I roll over a point and click, you see the minus sign come up. And so that's what's happening there. Cool, right? Cool. Okay.